hello everybody. Happy Friday. Please join us on the Mexican Crossing Lines. This is Duke Gomez-Schempp, and we're about to go on. We're going to be streaming on Facebook at 88.1 Fargo Moorhead, live on the radio at 88.1 Fargo Moorhead, and on Twitch at a Mexican Crossing Lines, and on YouTube at Duke 1517. Please share us out. It's going to be a good show. It's about Elongate.
That's right. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, at media_PPP. You can also email us at cindy@kppfm.com, Duke at kppfm.com, or you can leave a call message at 701-566-0917. We've got about 3 minutes, so leave us a message and let us know your thoughts. Welcome, everyone, to A Mexican Crossing Lines with your host, Cindy Gomez-Schempp.
And Duke Gomez-Schempp.
You are listening to 88.1 FM, KPPPLP, Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. And today, we will be discussing Elongate. After all, it is exactly the hashtag that Elon Musk requested should be used were he to fall into a scandal. And there has been a lot of talk about Elon Musk more recently. There's always been a presence of Elon Musk since the late 1990s.
Yeah. Beginning
of the aughts, as they call them. Because of his partnerships, his business partnerships, because of the work that he was doing in Tesla with AI, with electric vehicles. I mean, the whole prospect of starting a car company, it's not an easy thing to do. It's about as daunting of a task as deciding that you're going to put colonies on Mars. So, like, there's a lot that Elon Musk has said and done that makes him a very interesting character to follow. And most recently, of course, he's gone with his company SpaceX.
That's right.
To Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, he hasn't went to Mars yet, but
he's planning. This is a plan, right?
Yeah. I've watched too many science fiction movies.
Do you not believe him?
I'm not going to go to Mars. I think you're going to die going to Mars, and you're going to die on Mars. And I think he even says that. It's, well, on the way, some people will die. So sign right up. It's only $33 million to get a seat.
What? Aren't you, one of those stargazing, all-American young boys with the dream of becoming an astronaut and exploring space and traveling to other, worlds?
When I was 8 years old, which I didn't know any better. There's a world I live in now. I'm scared to go to the bottom of the ocean. Expect me to go to Mars?
We haven't explored much of the ocean.
Yeah. And
we're hell-bent on leaving the planet, I guess, and forget about what we haven't figured out here and what we need to still do for those of us living on this planet. Elon has moved on. His Bezos has moved on.
Yep.
They're all looking to the sky. Well, there's been a lot of scandals leading up to the latest of which is that there may or may not be some investigations by the FEC or other government agencies looking into his purchase of or bid for purchasing Twitter. Because I think that there may have been some agreements. Like when you're going to buy a house, you put down some kind of a payment or It's not really a down payment.
Yeah, what do they call it? Like a earnest, something earnest. It's like, here's, we're going to put down some money just to keep it,
Just to
in the
look at
works.
it. Just to look at it.
Just to look at it,
Just to look at it. This doesn't necessarily mean you're going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But people that are selling something, especially something like a company, they don't want to be jerked around and waste their time and their investment. Well, there's something like that you had to do if you're going to bid on Twitter, if you're going to announce that you're going into the process of purchasing Twitter. And part of that had to do with whether or not he was disparaging the platform itself or the people running it. And I think he pretty much has been doing that nonstop.
Yeah.
So, and of course, how that's affecting Twitter itself and how that affects Elon Musk's value, because a lot of the value around what he gets involved in has to do with him as a person and what people have invested, what they see in him, right?
Yeah.
And it would appear that the cat is out of the bag now, right? Because there is definitely an effort to focus on this particular new scandal we're going to talk about today. Now, let me mention that Elon Musk long ago tweeted out that if ever there were to be a scandal about him, that he would like the hashtag Elongate to be used as the announcement of his scandal. And there have been other scandals prior to this one. Check this out. This is the tweet he made, which was tweeted out today, or more recently, by Ron Filipowski on Twitter, saying that the day has arrived and the name seems to fit the facts alleged. So it's a good call by Musk that if there were ever a scandal about him, please call it Elongate. Now, he tweeted this back in March of 2021.
Yeah.
So all year ago, right?
Yep.
And during that entire time, there have been many scandals. There's been a scandal where he's being sued by his employees for discrimination. His black employees have made allegations that Elon Musk has, that the conditions that he required them to work, that they had to work the crappier jobs, that they wouldn't be allowed to be out in the company if people were coming in. He didn't want any black faces to be seen by people that were coming in. That's one scandal. No hashtag Elongate came out. No hashtag Elongate with lots of Twitter talk about the scandal were trending anywhere. There was also another scandal that he sued an engineer into silence, or silenced an engineer with an NDA. The allegations being that there are people that work for him in his company that don't trust him, that have tried to expose him possibly as being some kind of liar, like a fraud. The man behind the curtain is not who he says he is.
Exactly.
And that he has silenced those people. And in fact, there have been entire Twitter threads dedicated to showing how Elon Musk is not for free speech, even though he claims to be. And with this thread, evidence of articles of places and times where he has used NDAs to silence people that he worked with or for, or to silence other folks that maybe he was involved with. And in fact, there's also the big scandal and lawsuit between him and a British billionaire who he called a pedo man. And I'm not for 100% sure if he called this British billionaire a pedo man because he was jealous of him, because this British billionaire rescued a bunch of Brazilian soccer kids from some cave disaster that they were involved in. And this was the story of competing billionaires for heroic actions in which Elon Musk was, I guess, attempting to rescue the kids too, or was merely throwing shade at the billionaire trying to do so from the UK. In any case, in the process of this back and forth between these two billionaires over the rescue of these kids, Elon threw out the tweet, comment, post, whatever, that this guy is a pedo man. Now, of course, you can't call someone a pedophile, publish that information, or broadcast that information without any evidence. And so, of course, the British billionaire, who he called a pedo man, sued him. And he went scrambling to try to fix the problem, one of the things he tried to do was to claim that pedo man is a South African term, because he comes from South Africa, you see. And in South Africa, if you're weird or you're creepy, they call you pedo man. Did you heard about that?
No, so it
must be a South African.
Claiming it's just some slang, some common slang, and it doesn't actually mean you're calling someone a pedophile, accusing them of, pedophilia.
Exactly. He was trying to deflect. Like, did I say pedo man? What I meant was the way we use it in South Africa, which is just a weird guy. Just, creepy. But at the same time, in the background, Musk had hired what he thought was an investigator to dig deeper into this British billionaire's background to find out if it was true that he really was a pedo, and specifically to look into the relationship that he had with a younger woman who he was not married to, who had an age difference between the British billionaire and the woman of about 20 years or so, maybe more. Point is, both of them have been very public about their consenting relationship, non-marital union, in which both of them met and dated after the woman was of age. So whatever relationship these two did have, even though it wasn't marriage, it all happened after the woman was an adult. Whereas many have speculated about Musk and his prior wife, whom many speculated he met through Ghislaine Maxwell. Once again, another very, scary figure in the background of Elon Musk.
Exactly.
Who he claims, he was at a party with his ex-wife, and she just kind of photobombed or was in the picture at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of speculations because, Elon Musk also admitted to going to Jeffrey Epstein's home. And so there's a lot more of things that we could talk about with regards to scandalous things related to Elon Musk. But for some reason, Duke, today's the day.
Really?
After all the things I just brought up, none of which have really been talked about at length as a major scandal on Elon Musk, this one is. And today, even Elon Musk tweeted that old tweet I just showed you and basically said, here's the moment. It's time to use the hashtag that I created, Elongate. And so he, with his blessing, I have thusly named our show today discussing Elongate. And many people have gone into a deep dive to figure out how this Elongate scandal came to be known by the public and why Elon is talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is what someone has tweeted about Elongate, saying basically that the reason why Elon Musk is whining on Twitter about being attacked by the left or by the media is because he was tipped off by these reporters, letting him know that they were going to expose his sexual harassment allegations. And so Chris at Just Chris Salvin on Twitter tweeted, hashtag Elongate. The Musk knew this story was dropping timeline for anyone who needs it. And what he means is that this is the timeline of the events that happened that led to him saying he was being attacked. And you can see there in the tweet, he includes 3 links to Open Secrets donor lookup, so you can, verify some of the things that he is putting into this timeline, including tweets by John Cook and Elon Musk himself. That also links on this tweet to a Business Insider article about the latest scandal. So the timeline begins with Elon Musk historically being known to donate to both Democrats and Republican parties, including Democratic candidates in the November 2020 election. At the same time that he even created Elongate as a hashtag. He was still giving money to both. And as you know, in the last few days, Elon Musk has announced publicly he will no longer vote Democrat.
Yes, that's right.
That he has become a Republican.
Republican, yes.
So this is important because we need to know that as late as November of 2020, he still donated to Democratic candidates.
Exactly.
For someone that has now decided he's Republican. The unionization efforts that started gaining traction in nationwide, there's another scandal that we forgot to talk about that wasn't really talked about with regard to Elongate. But if you will recall, Tesla was in California, and during the pandemic, because of vaccine and mask requirements that were being passed on to corporations and businesses, many companies like Southwest and Tesla CEOs stood up to say that the government overreach or the commands of the government, the mandates requiring people to have certain distancing, certain, they wouldn't let people operate factories unless they put into place things to protect the workers, so that they could protect the workers from a deadly disease in accordance to CDC regulations and OSHA guidelines. And yet, Tesla did not want that. And he said he was going to leave California and move to Texas, remember? All of this coincides with people demanding unions. And why do workers want to unionize? Why do companies, why would American workers want to unionize, Duke?
Because you want safe, fair working conditions. You want a company that you work for to treat you with respect and pay you a good wage. That you have some sort of job security. That you have some representation when it comes to negotiating any changes in the company. That you have a union contract. It's all about the workers' rights.
And Elon Musk does not stand for workers' rights. That is not something he was interested in. So going back to our timeline here, you'll see that Business Insider journalists contacted Musk for comment regarding allegations of sexual harassment for an article that they were going to be publishing, and they wanted comment from him before their publication time, which, according to the editor of the article, says that it was 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 18. Okay? And then, of course, they link to the original tweet from the Business Insider journalist saying this. So you can check the source. Then, after that, after the Business Insider journal contacted him for comment about the sexual harassment article, Elon quickly spam tweeted about how political attacks were coming against him and that the woke leftists were behind all of it. He literally started tweeting right after being contacted by the Business Insider. That's where all of his tweets about being attacked and the woke leftists, and he's going to be a Republican. That's when it happened. And then the Business Insider piece comes out, and now he's trying to convince everyone this is all politically motivated.
Oh, yeah.
They're trying to bust unions, and he's trying to inoculate himself from the actual article.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the article from the Business Insider, because that's also attached to this tweet. And in the Business Insider article, they published this. A SpaceX flight attendant says that Elon Musk exposed himself and propositioned her for sex, documents show, and that the company paid $250,000 for her silence.
Wow.
So, SpaceX paid a flight attendant $250,000 in severance after she accused Elon Musk of exposing himself and offering to buy her a horse.
Wow.
In exchange for sex. Let me give you some more of the... Boy.
Oh, those billionaires. Oh, man.
He wasn't horsing around, dude.
She didn't want to look a gift horse in the mouth either,
Whoa there, Nelly. I'm going to have to stop you.
Yeah, pull the reins on that one, yes. Before it gallops away from you.
Okay, let's look at some of the details, the sordid details of the Musk scandal. Here are some of the sordid details of this story. The flight attendant worked for SpaceX, so she was already working for the private planes that shuttle people around that are owned by the company that Tesla CEO Musk owns, SpaceX. They have their own fleet of jets that they use to fly people like Elon Musk around. And Elon Musk met her as one of the flight attendants, liked her, and suggested to her she should do more.
Do more.
Well, by more, it means that he asked her, he thought, you know what? As a flight attendant, if you got massage therapist certification, if you got yourself a massage therapist certification, I could get a massage from the flight attendant that flies, that services the airline that I own while I'm going back and forth to different places. And she thought this was going to increase her skill set.
Be lucrative,
And make things better for her in terms of pay and work. So she went and got her certification.
Yeah.
So that she could provide massages for Elon Musk. Remember, this is not the only flight attendant.
Yeah, exactly.
That flies on SpaceX airplanes. They have more than one airplane.
Yep.
They have more than one flight attendant. But Elon, having flown with this particular one, said, hey, you know what you could do to advance? Get your masseuse certification, and then you could give me massages on the airplane. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah.
And so she did. And then when she did, guess what happened next?
Oh, boy.
Well, she was giving him a massage. And, of course, everybody is naked during a massage. But he had like a napkin on him. He had like a napkin. But he had what you call an erection. He was aroused. And he exposed his aroused genitals to the attendant. That's not something you're supposed to do during a massage.
No.
For those of you wondering, if you haven't had a massage, that's not how this is supposed to go.
Exactly.
So What happens next is that she kind of freezes, doesn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Can I get like a full body massage? Can you like give me a happy ending?" type of insinuation. And she says she doesn't want to. He offers to buy her a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just something that billionaires do? Like, I know that there's pick up the ladies, you know. A lot of people have been cooped up during the pandemic. I'm sure there's a lot of horny men out there. But it's not typical for them to just like, can I buy you a horse?
Yeah, I don't know.
For a hand job?
I don't know the horse culture at all, you know. And also it's like, you know, where are you going to keep it? You know, it's just like, you know, put it in the garage, you know, or if you even have a garage, maybe you live in an apartment.
I don't know why
I don't understand the horse exchange.
I don't know why you would want to saddle a woman with that responsibility.
Oh, those billionaires.
They can just do anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say nay. They will not get away with this.
Yep.
So she goes and she reports this to SpaceX. And at first, they tried to just sweep it under the rug.
Yep.
They tried to retaliate. Well, what actually happened was she said no. She finished giving him his massage. Now, that's professionalism, Duke.
Yeah.
You know, you have to turn down a horse. You literally have to look a gift horse in the mouth. And then she stopped getting work.
Yep.
They cut her hours.
Yeah.
They started giving her less favorable situations to work in.
I guess you could say they kind of put her out to pasture, you know.
Exactly, Duke. Yes, you figured this out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and, you know, she was not feeling it. She was not hot to trot with this situation they put her in. So she threatened to sue. They took her to a mediation, Duke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because, of course, you can imagine any company Elon Musk is involved in has all of these tiers and hoops you have to jump through to have any kind of complaint as an employee heard. So she did that, and she walked away with a $250 million.
No, 250,000.
$250,000 settlement / severance because they pushed her out.
Yep.
They pushed her out. To be honest with you, I think she got a raw deal.
Yeah.
I think she could have gotten a lot more out of Elon Musk for what he did to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because not only was her career path stunted in what she could have, gone on to do at Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was making pretty good money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So her earning potential was destroyed. Not to mention the fact that he retaliated against her. It wasn't just that he sexually harassed her. It was and traumatized her at work. It was that he retaliated. He felt which shows you he felt entitled to her as an employee for him to enjoy sexually. And when she rejected him, he punished her for rejecting him.
Yeah.
Which is a sign of the fact that he expected her to fulfill his wishes.
Oh, yeah.
She was supposed to ride the pony.
Mm-hmm.
She said no. So I'm not going to ride the pony.
Yep.
So let me share with you what his tweets were. Following the Business Insider article, journalists calling him and asking him for comment about the article that was about to be released. This is what he had to say. He said, "The attacks against me should be viewed through a political lens. This is their standard, despicable playbook. But nothing will deter me from fighting for a good future and your right to free speech. That's what he said.
Wow.
But Elon Musk, now that you know the timeline and now that you know that he sent out that flurry of tweets about him being attacked and about the woke leftists and all this, after he was contacted by Business Insider for comment on these latest allegations of a scandal, it reads a lot more desperate. It reads like a desperate attempt to cover his tracks and to distance himself from what's coming. And someone who's very familiar with sex scandals, Jim Jordan, I guess birds of a foul feather flock together, because Jim Jordan notably scandalized for his turning a blind eye to sexual assaults of students while he was a gym coach, a wrestling coach, had this to say about Trump and the dossier. Here's what Jim Jordan tweeted. He said, Christopher Steele created the dossier. Glenn Simpson sold it to the press. Michael Sussman took it to the FBI. And Democrats and the media lied to you about it. And Elon Musk chimes in saying, it's all true, replying to Jim Jordan. I bet most people still don't know that a Clinton campaign lawyer using campaign funds created an elaborate hoax about Trump and Russia. It makes you wonder what else is fake, he says.
Wow.
Indeed, it does make one wonder what else might be fake. For example, Elon Musk's background, including his own hairline. Is that fake? I suppose if you buy hair, it's yours. You own it.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
And it isn't a wig. You know, it clearly looks like he's had multiple very professionally done hair transplants.
That's right.
But I guess this is a lesson in how things don't always look like they really are. You could be deceived by what you see, and it's a good thing to know the background, what's really behind the mask. In fact, take a look at the picture that the original photograph of Elon Musk with his receding hairline comes from. It's a picture of Peter Thiel and Elon Musk back in the day when Elon Musk and Thiel ran PayPal, which catapulted them into the stratosphere of billionaires. And of course, Elon Musk here had less hair, and Peter Thiel was less evil. As you know, Peter Thiel went on to take down Gawker and set the precedent for lawsuits for libel and slander against publications, most of which are very incredibly hard to prove, but which Peter Thiel was able to pierce that precedent, the decades-long precedent, and took down a media platform out of revenge.
Yep. And because he could.
Because he's a millionaire or billionaire, and he has the power to silence what he doesn't like being put out in the media. I wonder if Elon Musk has taken any notes from Peter Thiel's playbook. Speaking of playbooks. And also, I'd like to point out that it wasn't Republicans, it wasn't a Democrat that lied to you about the Steele dossier. It was Lindsey Graham. Last time I checked, Lindsey Graham was a Republican.
Oh, yeah.
According to this CNN article, it was Lindsey Graham who encouraged late Arizona Senator John McCain to turn over the the Russian dossier, the Steele dossier, to the FBI. And as you can see in this article by Manu Raju from CNN's Congressional Pool of Reporters that was posted on March 25th of 2019, nearly 2 years ago, we have known and have reported on the fact that it was Republicans who funded the Steele dossier against Trump because none of these people wanted Trump to win. Remember that before Lindsey Graham was a bootlicking Trump supporter, he was a never Trumper. And so was most of the Republican sphere of bootlickers who are currently MAGAs now. Mm-hmm. So even in joining Jim Jordan's sexual scandal, Jim Jordan, in this desperate tweet, Elon Musk is propagating lies like Jim Jordan, because it was the Republicans who funded the dossier and the Republicans who gave it to the FBI. But let's just look at a little deeper into the true nature of the owner of Tesla, Elon Musk, and talk a little bit more about what is going on behind the scenes of this scandal and other scandals that have yet to be uncovered for a variety of different reasons, some of which are discussed in this thread by journalist Edward Niedermeyer, who did publish a book titled hold on, it's called Ludicrous. That's the name of the book. And he wrote this book taking a deeper dive into Tesla's rise from a tiny startup to a multi-millionaire dollar juggernaut, deconstructing the popular mythology behind the company itself and the factors that contributed to its success and ultimately to its downfall. Ed Niemeyer did an entire thread, which I'm going to share some of with you today, or all of this thread with you today. It starts off by talking about how in 2015, Niedermeyer decided to, on a whim, to check out Tesla's battery swap stations. That was earning the company 9 figures in California ZEV credits. And then he found out it wasn't even real. Instead, Tesla was using diesel generators to charge the electric cars. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of an electric car?
Yeah, you need a bunch of gas to charge it up.
When you use a bunch of diesel fuel to power generators to power the electric car? That just seems back-asswards.
It is, for sure.
Does that make any sense?
No, it doesn't.
But that's what started this thread, which, according to Niedermeyer, changed his life. He said, up until that point, I'd been skeptical about any startup automaker and how they could succeed. That view wasn't about just Tesla. It was about the car business itself. But what I found at Harris Ranch was shocking. A cockroach. And I decided to follow a life-changing instinct. There is never just one cockroach. Journalists are like investors, but instead of money, they bet their time and effort. What I saw at the battery swap station was so at odds with the image that Tesla was trying to project in 2015. I knew there was a good chance investigating and scrutinizing Tesla would pay off, and it did. And of course, I shared with you that he published the book Ludicrous. A year later, I found another big cockroach. Tesla was hiding defects by requiring all new customers to sign non-disclosure agreements, NDAs,
customers,
in exchange for free repairs. The customer, any new customer, had to sign an NDA because there were so many defects that were coming to light that by signing NDAs, it would cut off the auto safety regulators' only independent source of information about Tesla defects.
Wow.
Because they were going directly to Tesla for their repairs, all of which were free.
Wow.
And that led to a couple of important lessons. First, Musk's skill, his real skill, drum roll please,
His non-skill.
is controlling information.
Okay.
That's the real skill Musk has. It's not just crafting appealing narratives about himself and his companies. It's also about silencing anything that contradicts them. Tesla's entire history is lined with non-disclosure agreements backed by sheer terror of Musk and what he will do if he is cornered. Sounds like the former guy.
Yeah, it does.
The terror comes from another lesson. Musk doesn't ever refute allegations made against him. He goes on the attack. I learned this after the NDA story, when an official Tesla blog post accused me, this is Niedermeyer speaking, of fabricating the reporting and doing so for financial gain. Zero evidence was offered to support this attack on my credibility as an author. And what happened next taught me another lesson. Musk fans don't care about facts, just like Trump fans.
Exactly.
I was mobbed by online attacks that could not be dissuaded or mitigated by any facts. My claims had evidence. His claims against me did not. Yet hardly anyone knows about my reporting on his car company in 2016, and the lies he said then are still being repeated today. My book made some key claims that have been proven true. Tesla can't make affordable cars. Tesla can't make its full self-driving car work. Autopilot has real safety issues. Tesla is fundamentally weak on manufacturing, and many more. Here's the hardest lesson of all. None of that mattered. As I realized this, and as I realized that Musk and Tesla were on a trajectory toward increasingly implausible and fraudulent claims, which, by the way, massively enrich Elon Musk, I realized Tesla is not an automotive story. It's a celebrity story. Faith in Musk, Elon Musk himself as a celebrity, as a person, is what mattered, is the only thing that mattered. Along my journey, I have heard a lot of rumors, evidence of big cockroaches that I chose not to hunt because I wanted to cover the automotive mobility tech story, not Musk's personal life. But his personal life, who he really is what actually matters. Now that I know that the story is about his celebrity and not about the cars, not about the technology, not about space. If Tesla printed cash, like Amazon or Facebook, Musk's character and personality wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. But Tesla has always been financially precarious and dependent on valuations based on Elon Musk's dream weaving. Dream weaver. Saving the planet. Self-driving cars. Connections in the brain. AI. Mars colonies. All of that fantastical stuff. none of which we've actually seen come to fruition, but which he talks about endlessly on shows and podcasts like Joe Rogan's.
Mm-hmm.
In short, Tesla is a confidence game. A con. Confidence in one man. And the image that he so ruthlessly controls is what holds it all together. Understanding why Musk's dreams are BS is hard. Learning about manufacturing and artificial intelligence is cool, though. But anyone can grasp a person's character. Like all human behavior, journalism has crowd dynamics. Every cockroach killed motivates other cockroach hunters to mount up. But celebrity journalism takes this to a new level. Every celebrity story is the same. First they're built up, and then they're torn down. If celebrity journalists smell Elon Musk's blood in the water and start a feeding frenzy, they will find the cockroaches. They will see all of the cockroaches. Why? Because Elon Musk's history makes one of these lessons undeniable. He does not believe that the rules apply to him. That is a core belief of every narcissistic abuser.
Yeah, for sure.
This is ultimately why my view has evolved from mere skepticism about Tesla as a business to a belief that Elon Musk's demands firm justice. His impunity and ability to meme reality to his will is making his behaviors worse all of the time. His trajectory as a celebrity is unsustainable. Even more importantly, his abusive behavior, his impunity, and the unfathomable wealth that they have generated from him, for him, creates incentives for everyone else to mimic Elon Musk's behavior. Because if he gets away with it, why can't you? Even if you think that Musk deserves special treatment, do you want a society where everyone acts like him? To wrap this all up, happy hunting, celebrity journalists out there. This is the moment for you to prove that what you do is as important to society as any business and or as political journalism. Musk's personal life is a cockroach-rich environment, and your stories will have an impact that mine never did. I still think my reporting is important. Understanding cars, the car business, manufacturing, artificial intelligence, autonomous driving tech, and other issues I covered in my book, Ludicrous, are critical to a better future. I hope more people choose to start learning about them now. So,
Wow.
now that you know the feeding frenzy that is about to begin, announced by Elon Musk himself.
Yeah.
I think that demystifies this chatter on the Twitter sphere that Elon Musk is riding in on his white steed and he's going to, on that horse that he's offering women, and he's going to, re-platform Marjorie Taylor Greene and all of, and Trump and anyone who has been deplatformed unfairly and censored because of the woke left. It just isn't so.
Yeah.
The latest buffoon who believed the claptrap was General Flynn, and the embattled general tweeted this: "I'm back on Twitter, everyone. Thank you to Elon Musk for cleaning up the mess on aisle 4. He tweeted that just a few days ago.
Yep.
A day or so ago.
Yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday at 2:07 a.m. At 2:07 a.m. He tweeted, "He's back. Thanks a lot." And then immediately he was banned. He was suspended. So I guess Elon Musk didn't fix everyone's problems. I guess maybe it's possible that unless you are handsy or handy, you may not be able to get anything from Elon Musk. You might be offered a horse if you're handy, but if you're not, like everyone else, you might just get elongated, like this scandal. So tune in here to A Mexican Crossing Lines for more of the updates on what's going on with the purchase of Twitter, with Elongate, and with Tesla in the upcoming months. And thanks for being with us this evening with your hosts, Cindy Gomez-Schempp.
And Duke Gomez-Schempp.
You're listening to 88.1 FM KPPP LP Fargo Moorhead, where we are adding local color to your airwaves. Thanks for being with us. God bless and good night.